My name is Semen Ledwards. I'm writing this in my attic, and if you happen to find this letter, just know that it might already be too late, and I might have OD'd on the weed. I'm smoking so much to try and forget about the trauma that I experienced last night. It was something so terrifying that I'm shaking while writing this. It all started when my friend Alex invited me to his sleepover. I didn't find this to be very odd at the time, as Alex was a good friend of mine, and there was nothing too out of the ordinary about this invitation. I pulled up to Alex's house in my mom's minivan. I got out and waved to her goodbye, and my mom told me to have a good time, and to just be back home by 8:30. I pleaded with her until she finally let me sleep over at Alex's house. I walked in the front door and noticed a long, sticky, rainbow-colored object with two spherical things at the base of it. Before I could get a good enough look to decipher what exactly the object was, my friend Alex came down the stairs. "Hey Smandan, what's up?" Alex asked. "Hey Alex, nothing much, are you ready to have some fun?" I replied. Alex proceeded to lead me to his room, and we played some Overwatch. I was playing my favorite character, Reinhardt, and Alex was playing Tracer. We were having fun, though I found it odd that no one else from our friend group had come to this sleepover, and as far as I know, no one else was even asked to. I became a bit worried about this, as my parents didn't pay for me to have cell phone service, but I immediately realized Alex would never do anything to hurt me. I mean, he was a straight-A student who played soccer and had a super hot girlfriend, so I had nothing to worry about, or so I thought. So me and Alex wrapped up our Overwatch game, winning every single one, because Alex had an Asian kid named Michi in the PlayStation party carrying us to every win. As we were getting ready for bed, Alex said I could sleep in his bed, which I was perfectly fine with, since I assumed that means he will be sleeping on the floor instead of me. I climbed into bed, but as I did, Alex climbed in next to me. I was stunned, like I wasn't using the tac mask perk in Call of Duty and I had just gotten flashbanged. Even so, I let it go since I really didn't want to sleep on the floor, and Alex was a straight man. So the lights went out, and almost immediately I felt something grabbing for my pants. I felt them slide off, and something started thrusting on me back and forth. I jumped out of bed and ran to turn on the light, but when I did, no one was in bed. Then, Alex walked in. He asked me what I was doing out of bed with the lights on, and then he looked down to find I was naked. I looked at him embarrassed, not because of my small size, but because I'm a straight man. I told him that my pants had slipped off, probably because of the wind coming from the open window. He nodded and got back into bed. I joined him once again. A couple hours later, I awoke again. But this time I couldn't move. I was tied down, like some sick BDSM fantasy. I felt my pants leaving me and something sharp entered my anus. I immediately knew that it had to be a BBC. I turned around, and was met by a man in a BDSM face mask going completely berserk mode on my booty hole. He took off his mask in an instant, and I recognized him as my friend, Alex, but he was different. His nose was larger, and he reeked of rotten fried chicken. He was chanting Black Lives Matter as he stroked. I think I blacked out from sheer panic, because it felt way too real to be a dream. But then I woke up, and Alex was beside me. I think he might have thought that me being naked when he walked in was gay signaling, because he was attempting to jerk me off. I whispered into his ear and told him to please stop. He obliged and stopped. I then looked to the side of Alex's bed and noticed his phone. I grabbed it while he wasn't looking and called my lawyer, Brian Todd, to come and pick me up. I told him that I have a case for him. Brian picked me up and I explained everything that happened. He told me that this wasn't a job for him, then he picked up his phone and FaceTimed someone. I looked over, and on the screen was a very deformed black man. I asked him who the hell it was, and Brian said, "Look, I know he might not look skilled, but he's the most skilled blackie I know. His name is Maurice and he's in a band called Maurice X Terrence. He is the only one that can help you." I asked Brian what the hell was going on, and Brian then said, "Let me explain. You see, Alex wasn't the one raping you in bondage. It was a demonic figure possessing him named Lil Nas X. Maurice and his friend Terrence are experienced exorcists. They have a full album about it, and they don't do rap cap." I told Brian to just take me home because I was about to have a panic attack and I just simply couldn't take anymore. I ran up straight to my attic when I got home to smoke a bowl and write this all down. It was a sure thing that my friend Alex wasn't so straight after all. But what I didn't know for sure was what exactly was raping me in BDSM bondage. I'm sure that it was not a dream, and whatever that thing was, it was not just Alex. I think the moral of this story is maybe the best thing you can do is stay in your room all day and smoke weed. It could save you from lifelong trauma from your closeted friend at a sleepover. Hopefully I won't have much longer until this weed hits my system and I forget about it all. And hopefully Maurice and Terrence can take care of that abomination that Brian says has taken control of my dear friend.